What is up, true believers? The eternal truth. The eternal truth. The eternal truth. The eternal truth behind our modern mythology.
What is up, true believers? It's Mason here with Comics and Crosses, where, yes, we discuss the eternal truths behind our modern mythology. And today is Monday, February 7th. I'm like, what month is it? February 7th, 2022. I hope that you all had a great weekend. I hope that everybody out there is doing well. Got to spend some time reading comics, or with your family, or doing whatever. And I just wanted to get the week going, get you going for your week, share some encouragement and some thoughts on some different things, and wish you well as you go out into the work week. So a funny thing happened. Well, maybe not so funny, but sorry, just one second. Had to turn something on. So yesterday, I got a comment on one of my videos. So, and the thing is, this particular video on my YouTube channel has gotten more comments than probably any other video I've done. There's a video I did on the parallels of Jesus and Superman. A lot of people have checked that out and, maybe commented this or that. But this one video in particular, and I put the link to it in the description, so you can check it out if you like after this. But it is titled, "Why Christians Don't Care About Comics." I tell you, granted, if all fess up to anything is that maybe the title is a little provocative, maybe even a little baity. But that's the way I titled it. And, every couple months or so I get, and it's one of my early videos too, when I just started the channel. And every so often I get some Christian to come in there and go, "That's not true. I read comics." And I'm sorry. I shouldn't mock. I shouldn't make fun, but it's just funny because people get triggered by it. And when you talk about a subject, people, I guess they believe that because they're an exception to what you're talking about, that you're totally wrong. Or, on my end, maybe what I could have titled it better was why the church doesn't care about comic books. That might have been, because if you watch the video, the point I make, and it's not a very confrontational, argumentative sort of point or video. I just make the point that, by and large, the church doesn't seem to value comic books. I've never seen them celebrated, other than maybe if somebody does a specifically Christian comic book, like a Bible story. I had some creators on last week who are doing just that, creating a comic Bible story of King David, the life of King David, which is pretty cool. They're doing an excellent job at that. That's over Brainy Pixel and Mercy Ways. They're doing Chronicles of Faith David. So you could check that up if you're into a epic biblical story capturing the life of the greatest king of Israel. So, but for, whatever reason, people get triggered. I don't know if they're watching this video or if they're just like seeing the title and flipping out. So here's my latest comment that I got. So the comment says, "You are full of it. I'm a Christian, and the guy who introduced me to comics was a Christian. We love comics. Many Christians do. I've never heard any Christian claim comics are bad." Well, I have. If you listen to the video, that's probably the first thing I brought up in my video. So I guess you've never heard it, but I bring it up. So Are you saying that your experience is more valid than mine? I don't understand. You know, and this is just one person. Like I say, there have been many people who come and they say, well, when I was in Japan, I was a part of a group that had a pastor in it, and we all read comics and we talked about them. And that's excellent, guys. Do you really think that I start a channel called Comics and Crosses and don't want to see Christian people enjoying comics? But I will make this point also. I don't make my videos for Christians. I really don't. I make my videos for comic book fans, for people who love comics, for people who love talking about them, love dissecting them, love getting into them. And what I happen to offer is my Christian perspective. You know, and I find that it is received because people who truly love comics love anybody talking about comics. I was very pleasantly surprised when I got into this channel to find that there was a great deal of support because the comic community is immensely supportive. Unfortunately, the Christian community is not always, you know, as example by some of my comments. So some of these comments that I've gotten on this video, you know, show kind of a lack of support, but basically my viewpoint seems to disagree with what you're saying, and therefore you are wrong. More of this negative kind of stuff. So which is unfortunate. Which is truly unfortunate. So yeah, my content is about comics, is for comic people, for people, and actually, I hope that my content is for people who maybe are not super familiar with comics. That they can. I want to be accessible. I want people who enjoy the conversation about what these comics are about can hopefully get in, and I would love to any way that I can influence non-comic people to give comics a try. That's what I want to do. If I can say anything that can get somebody to go, you know, maybe I'll try out that comic book he was talking about, then that's great for me. That's a total win. That makes me super happy. So, and I think that should be, you know, and I think that's the way the comic community, you know, by and large is. I think that we want people reading comics. We want people talking about comics. The other thing is, yeah, I think I mentioned it before, but so in this video I made called Why Christians Don't Care About Comics, it's like I say, it's more so about the church. Now, I could make a comment that if I were to say, you know, white people don't care about traditional Nigerian dance or something like that. Now, you may be able to find me white people who are extremely passionate about traditional Nigerian dance, but probably my statement is pretty accurate by and large, probably just because they don't have roots from Nigeria. You know, and I would not be offended by hearing such a statement. I go, yeah, probably don't. Yeah. But you could probably find me exceptions. And exceptions are not the rule. And that's something we have to learn to accept and deal with, you know. For some reason, people always want to be the exception and they always want to be the most critical one. Critical meaning important, most important one. Well, last thing, you know, I already kind of mentioned, this is my story. So, you know, I'm sharing my perspective, my opinion, what I've experienced, what I've seen, and you know, my ultimate point of this video, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, is that is when I made this video, my point is that God cares about comics, that there is a great amount of divine creativity and purpose to the medium of comic books that I feel has plenty in common with the creator, and even if it doesn't have things in common with the church, and I'm okay with that. So that's what I'll say about that. Now, otherwise, a couple of fun things. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about Book of Boba Fett, which has become Mandalorian season 2.5, I guess. Super cool. I have a little woven Baby Yoda Grogu that we got for my kids. It was kind of one of those toys that was gone for a long time. Then we found it. I was going to put it here in my office, but then my kids took it and slept with it. So, big fan of of Grogu, of the Mandalorian, of Din Djarin, of the whole Mandalorian series. Book of Boba Fett, I really wasn't interested. I really didn't watch until I found out that Din Djarin was in it, and then I watched that. And from what I've heard, those are kind of the best episodes. So I did a talk on Friday. If you go back to the February 4th episode, you can see what I had to say about the state of Star Wars and where things are at right now. I'm definitely liking the TV series, what they're doing there, the direction they're taking Din Djarin, the dark saber, the history of both Mandalore and the Jedi Order. The only really downside is that kind of we know where things are going to end up for Luke, which I know The Last Jedi has its fans, but I was not one of them. So one of them I was not. No. So also, maybe if you have been reading comics a while, you've heard about Substack, about these digital subscription type comic series. Chief of which is, and I mean, Al Ewing is involved, I believe, Ram V, a number of artists and creators, and they are creating this whole comic ecosystem all through this digital platform. And I went to check it out a little bit this weekend, and because I had heard of it, but I'd never really taken time to take a look. And I will say that I am thoroughly overwhelmed. It, as you might imagine, maybe if I had started at the very beginning, but okay, if you were following Jonathan Hickman on the X-Men, you know that he is not afraid to write. He's not afraid to add supplementary things to his comics, and so there is comics. There's written out like history and economics and like all kinds of things about how this universe functions, and it is a lot, but it's kind of cool. I mean, here's what I say: if you like really like world building and a whole new imaginary system, which if you're into comics you probably are, but not all are created equal. This one, it'll be interesting to see where this goes, if people are able to really get into it, and if it really builds a strong fan base, even though it's not printed comics. Maybe it will be down the road. I hope it will. But 3 Worlds, 3 Moons on Substack is, I mean, this could be a landmark thing for comic books. I mean, this is a big project, and this could be the thing that really cements digital as being here and having arrived. I mean, this could be like the Watchmen, like one of those Frank Miller's Return of the Dark Knight, some of those things that really have make major milestones in the world of comics. I don't know. It could all blow over and be a fad and nobody likes it and nobody cares. I am literally right now on the fence of if I'm gonna go with it or not, if I want a subscription, if I want to dig into this world, because I really don't like reading comics digitally. I only do it when I'm traveling, or if it just, maybe it's a way to get something less expensive that I'm interested in checking out, that I'm curious about, but I'm not convinced will be good. So yeah, it's a toss up. I'd be curious to hear out there. Let me know, guys. Are you into digital comics? Are you liking the Substack thing? What does it look like for you? And are you willing to go down that road? I think there are a lot of things that have benefited from having expansive worlds that are built on, like Star Wars. It had the movies that came out in the 70s and 80s. And then they started to see comic books. It started to see novels. It started to see a whole expansive universe built around it, a lot of which has been erased at this point. But that really kind of served to build the cultural phenom even further and deepen the deepen the commitment of the fan base, you know, making people who are really invested in Star Wars. Probably the people who really love Boba Fett, because just watching the movies, I couldn't care less about Boba Fett. But that's me, you know, and now he's back and the show's whatever. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Coming up this week, let's see. I wanted to, for a second, talk about what I think is the coolest stuff coming out this week at the comic shop, Tuesday and Thursday. Oh no, I got logged out of my League of Comics. Oh, I should be able to log back in. Let's see here. So what are you picking up? What are you excited about coming out this week? Looks like we got some cool indie titles off the bat. We got, where was it? King of Spies #3, which is a Mark Miller comic book. Last Flight Out has been really cool from Dark Horse Comics. Cool little indie book about the world ending and a guy trying to rescue his daughter before the last ships take off for space. Oh, we got Maestro World War M. That is, if you've been reading the Maestro series, there's been 2 arcs that have come out about Maestro that have been really neat, really well done. Peter David, good stuff. Radiant Black is also back out this week, and some of the other usual stuff. And there's Life Zero, an indie comic from what is this? Ablaze, which I don't know if I've ever read anything from Ablaze, but Marco Cicchetto is doing art on this, who has been killing it on the Daredevil series. So thought it was worth a look-see. So those are some of the things I'm excited about this week. Let me know what you're excited about. And I hope to catch you all in the Twitter sphere and on Instagram and soon. If you could like this video, that would help me a lot. Share it, subscribe, do all the normal things. And until next time,